Hi, my name is April, and I am a dream builder life coach for veterans that are transitioning into the military, transitioning out of military into the civilian sector. Um, there are navigating life after the military within itself can be very challenging, and it makes it even harder when you have, say, you have PTSD or anxiety on top of that stress of trying to find yourself as to, your, let's just say, your, purpose after the military, because a lot of us that, you know, we all were in the military pretty much broken down and rebuilt to the way they want us to. And they always told us what to wear, how to dress, what we're doing, our doctor's appointments, the whole thing, like everything was done for us when we were in. And you do pretty almost the same thing every day. So a lot of people coming out, they get stressed because of, you know, they're stressed out. They don't know what they're going to be doing. They don't know anything. Um, so, which within itself, it can be very challenging. So, that's just, some of the things. Um, but so sorry, I was distracted a little bit, but that's okay. That's how we roll. Anyway, so, you know, there are a lot of strategies you can do with coping with it to try to minimize it. And today I will be covering actually I'm going to share with you some strategies you can use to actually be more productive, um, and to hopefully lower that stress so you can find where you need to be. So, anyway, so there's a lot of offers out there that range from the mental health services, which include counseling, therapy, and peer support. Also, you we can get into the cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the CBT, and that is the most effective strategies to help veterans manage their stressful thoughts and feelings. Also, relaxation techniques, mindfulness, and connecting with nature as you play a significant role in the recovery. Um, or you can connect with somebody such as myself who not only got the certifications for becoming a dream builder life coach, but also lived it myself. That's a big deal. You don't want to take away anything. You know. So what you want to do? And I'm stumbling over. So sorry. So anyway, what you can do actually is connect with somebody such as myself who's not only had all the training to be a life coach, but also have done, let's say, I've been through it. I've done it. Um, I've spent, good Lord, December will be 21 years that I had been disably retired from the Marine Corps. So I've been through all that. And then on top of being at the VA for 20 years, learned a lot in that as well. So yeah, who would you want to basically learn these strategies and techniques and everything you want to connect with somebody who's lived it, has been there, done that, knows how you're feeling, knows exactly what you're going through, and all that. So I would say try to connect with somebody like myself, or if you want to go with a professional, but I prefer connecting with somebody who's been there, done that, knows exactly what you're going through. A professional is great, but they might not have the personal experience, is what a lot of people look for. They want that personal experience and to connect in the ways that maybe somebody else can't connect with you. So, coping with the stress, anxiety, or even the PTSD after the military requires tailored strategies that honor the unique experiences of veterans. So, again, the unique experiences, and only we know prior military, like the experiences and the effective approaches that you may take to help with those coping skills. So the number one thing, like I was saying, is the professional therapy, the cognitive therapy, the exposure therapy, the counseling therapy. So I believe the exposure therapy, it gradually reduces the stress tied to traumatic memories. Okay, so whatever you have gone through while you're serving can affect things. So, and again, back to knowing somebody who's been through it can relate to you a lot better. So the second coping skill is physical well-being. So you have to think of yourself now as your own well-being. You're not in the military anymore. Um, so a lot of people, what they do is, a lot of veterans, what they do is once they're out of the military, like PT is like no longer, because we're all had to PT or PFT or whatever you want to call it, or CFT. Um, we've all have been there, and we've been up at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, running 5-10 miles, and you get out, you separate from the military, and you're just like, okay, I did all that for X amount of years. I don't want to do it no more. So people forget their personal well-being is, you have to continue with that regular exercise routine. It doesn't have to be, at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. You could do it in the evening time or a little bit later in the morning, but keeping physically active will help reduce the androgens and boost your mood. So, so activities like the yoga, martial arts, that can also help improve your focus and your resilience, and maintaining a balanced diet and a good sleeping schedule will also help your overall health, and you'll just feel better. You won't get as stressed. And you know what? Sometimes being in the military for so long, you're stressed out just about every day. Um, it's just very common. So what you do is, you limit that. A lot of people think they're going to eliminate that stress once they get out. And that is very possible. But you also have to remember, especially with PTSD, you can have a trigger, and something will trigger that. It could be as simple as you see, you saw, say, an Iraq example, because my husband uses this one, like a lot of snakes and spiders. And so it made him like kind of freak out when he sees them, and kind of brings back that memory. So, and that's where the PTSD is. And, you know, through these techniques, you can actually help that PTSD along with your anxiety of, oh my God, am I going to encounter that? What's going to happen if I do this? Or, like, the big one that we're all talking about is the stress. Now you're going to be worrying about it, so it's going to stress you out. So you just have to be very mindful of these techniques. And that's number 3. You have to be very mindful of the techniques. You have to practice, like the meditations or a deep breathing can help reduce the anxiety and the stress, and they'll promote calm. So grounding, and also grounding your experiences, such as focusing on on a sense that you want to hear, see, feel. It can redirect attention away from that intrusive thought. And then the last one I'll cover, because there's 7 total, and I'm covering 4. So the next one would be connecting with others. You need a support system. You need to find those right people that either understand you, that know you really well, that are willing to help you and not tear you down. Because that's the last thing anybody wants. You're trying to improve your mental health, and people are just tearing you down. Or families saying, oh, well, you shouldn't. Why are you doing it that way? You shouldn't. It's all about trusting the system. So building that supportive networking, such as, like I was saying, your friends, family, or other veterans and other groups, because it'll help actually ease that feeling of isolation. So now you're interacting, you're out of the military, but you're still interacting with other veterans in your peer support programs that often offer a safe space to share your experiences. So at the VAs, the local VA, there's support groups that you can do virtual or online, or VVC, Video Connect. So, those are some of the coping techniques. Now, I'm going to pull up, let me see here. So being the first on here to actually, doing all this, so should probably spun myself up a little bit more. But anyway, the VA, I get newsletters all the time. And there's this one newsletter, I had it saved and I don't know where it went, but either way, it's about, it's actually stress awareness month. I think they have awareness month for everything. And the VA actually will, if you enroll into it right here, April is Stress Awareness Month. So the VIP, there we go. So the MVP matters is in case you don't know, is the Million Veterans Program. And that also gives you some great ways to manage your stress with resources from the VA, the tools to help me manage. And I will also be covering a lot of this in my future videos. So, just recognizing that you have those issues is step number one. Like, don't be in denial about it, because all of you guys did a great thing with serving our country, and making sure we are able to do things like this today. So I'm actually going to probably cut this one a little shorter, but I just wanted, to let people know, you know, there are techniques for certain things, and I will be covering them. The next time I'm on live, I'm in the process of enrolling in like a big streaming, so it can be like all on all my streaming devices, from YouTube to Facebook to TikTok, and I think that's about it. Those are my four major ones. So that is the game plan. I will also share my link, website link, where you can book an appointment with me and we can go over like your thoughts of what's going on, um, as you're transitioning, but not even necessarily transitioning, helping you learn what's you're entitled to once you go into the VA. Um, there are so many things that, so right here I have the VA benefits for the survivors. I also have Veterans Legacy Memorial. And then for our area, I have the Saratoga National. But also I have the federal benefits book. And what this is, it's for veterans, dependents, survivors, and caregivers. It's a whole booklet of things that the VA has to offer, but they don't tell you unless you hook up with a veteran, such as myself, or you read the 100-page booklet, so you know what's going on. So anyway, so we'll be working with those, but also I do individual coaching that is designed specifically for your needs, and your goals, because not every veteran has this, not every person, let alone, has the same goals. Um, you may have the same concept, well, the same goal, different goals, but you're going through the same kind of emotion. I think that's just typical for a lot of veterans. As they're separating their emotions, and which creates that the stressful moments, and the uncertainty, and there's a whole line of things that can affect it. So again, my name is April. I am a Dream Builder transitional veteran coach, and I also can help you navigate around the VA, and, as like I was saying, the benefits that you're entitled to, and how the VA can seriously make your life better and more productive, and you can get the feeling of independency. So with all those comes great things after the military. You just have to remember how to cope with some of your, some of your stuff, your PTSD, anxiety, stress, whatever it might be. So I have a funnel, a website. It's stressfreeveteran.com. You can go right on there and book your session with me, and then we can discuss if there's anything further you want to dive into, or it's just, there's so much out there. And I can't stress enough. I cannot stress enough how important it is to, as you're transitioning, it's so important to make sure you enroll in the VA. Yes, you might not feel there's anything wrong, like your knees, your back, your shoulders, your feet, whatever it may be. You're thinking, okay, you know what, that I don't need the VA because I'm fine. No, there's some other veteran out there that needs the VA more. No, that is not that is maybe the case, but every veteran is entitled to the VA, whether you're, disabled or not, because I've seen this happen one too many times where veterans got out and the 90s or the 80s, and they never enrolled in a VA. Now they're trying to find all their medical records and prove to VBS that they qualify, that they had these while they're in. And the VBS is gonna turn around and say, well, how do you know that? You've been out for 30 years. Unless it's concrete, yes, I was in the military and I was exposed to Agent Orange, or I was exposed to the water at Camp Lejeune. Or, like in my case, I just, in talking to a veteran, the veteran county where they help you with all your claims, they recently told me that because I was in the Capitol back in 2003 when Ryzen hit the Capitol, I was there in full mop gear, trying to clean everything out. Now, it could possibly be linked to multiple sclerosis, even though a lot of the times MS is genetic, more predominant with females and more predominant with people that live in the Northeast because of the lack of vitamin C we get with the sun. So, but now they're saying, well, see if you can get your doctor to write up something saying that, hey, listen, we believe the MS was caused partially from the Ryzen and being in full mop gear for 14-hour days, 7 days a week, or whatever it was. So I have to go through that. And that would change my status from service connected to combat event related. And that can make a big difference, because that would mean I would be able to get my 30% of my pay from the Marines, and top of my disability of 100% with the VA, and on top of my Social Security disability. So there's a lot of good factors out there. You just got to know the right place to find them and the right people. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know in a lot of sense. So, with that said, um, please, if you're a veteran and you're starting to transition, whether you need it now or maybe 10, 15 years from now, because you don't know your future and you don't know what is going to happen to your body in the next 5 to 10 years after experiencing all this time in the military. So please do me a favor, find your local VA, sign on, and that will also help your stress because you're bettering yourself. At least you're trying to. So I hope everybody has a great Wednesday, and I will be doing live videos every Thursday, unless, of course, something comes up with me medically or the VA. But I am going to be trying to get more involvement through others as I'm explaining what's going on and how you can handle things. So, again, decrease your stress, and I'll help you with those coping skills. And we can dive into other little issues or things you want to do when you get out of the military and how you want to make yourself independent if you need to. Yeah, help you with your families too. And, that's a big thing right there is families and children when their parent is coming out of the military. You gotta, and if you're relocating, you gotta prepare that child depending on how old they are on what's going on. So through not only my experiences with the military, but being a special educator, I have my bachelor's degree in early childhood special general education, teaching children from birth to second grade. So, I can help you with all that. Or if you're a veteran with MS, because it is becoming very known, MS is really spiked with the VA. Now we have the spinal cord injury units. There's just a lot more to offer for veterans with MS. So I will see you all next week, and I hope you have a great week, and I hope this information helped you. And again, you could find me here. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. Yeah, so hope everyone has a great day and a great week. I'll see you all next week. Leave comments and follow, please. If you leave comments, I could answer any questions and it will give for a better week next week. So again, take care. Love y'all. And we'll see you soon.